All right, let's dive into a story that feels like it's from another time, a classic tale of magic, courage, and what it really means to be a hero. This is the story of the Four Sleeping Princesses. So, picture this. Deep in a forest so thick that sunlight barely touches the ground, there's this enchanted palace. It's been standing there, silent, for hundreds of years. Its towers are wrapped in these golden vines, and a legend has grown around it. A whisper that four princesses are trapped inside, and nobody has ever been able to wake them. So how did they end up there? Well, to really get it, we have to go back to the very beginning, to the moment a terrible curse was cast and the entire palace just fell asleep.
Now, these weren't just any princesses. Each one was special. You had Mahin, who was basically a walking symbol of light and hope. Then there was Sahar, a total bookworm obsessed with magical knowledge. Nahid could create music so beautiful it would charm the birds right out of the trees. And finally, Resham, who is nature's best friend. She could talk to animals and plants. They were the heart of the kingdom.
But where there's that much light, a shadow is never far behind. A dark fairy, just eaten up with jealousy, cast this awful spell, putting all four sisters into a deep, deep sleep. Some good fairies tried to help, but they couldn't break the curse, so they did the next best thing. They sealed the whole palace behind a magical barrier that only one kind of person could ever pass through. Someone with a pure heart, totally free from greed.
For centuries, that barrier held strong. Knights, wizards, princes, you name it, they all tried, and they all failed. But then, one day, something finally changed.
A young man named Arslan showed up. And he wasn't a king or some famous warrior, he was just a simple traveler from a small village. All he had was courage and a good heart. And when he reached out and touched that shimmering, magical barrier, it just melted away, like it had been waiting for him all along.
Once inside, he found the four sleeping princesses. And then a whisper seemed to echo through the huge hall, telling him that to wake them, he had to go into their dreams. He had to open the doors to their dream worlds and pass every single trial he found inside.
So he opens the first door. He's pulled into this strange world where Princess Mahin is trapped in a tower, and her light is literally being eaten by this living darkness. The darkness kept shifting. One second it's a beast, the next it's a storm cloud. But Arslan didn't draw a sword. He fought it by looking inside himself and conquering his own fear. And the moment he did, this pure light just burst from his heart and completely shattered the darkness.
Okay, 1 down, 3 to go. Arslan opens the second door. This time, he's in a massive library, and there's Princess Sahar. But she's not bound by iron chains. She's chained by the very knowledge she loved so much. And to free her, he had to solve a 3-part riddle.
Just think about that for a second. What would you say? The greatest power? A weapon that never rusts? A journey that never ever ends? I mean, these are tricky questions, designed to trap you.
But Arslan's answers were so simple and yet so profound. Love, he said, is the greatest power. Then, truth is the weapon that never rusts. And finally, the journey of knowledge is the one that never ends. And with each perfect answer, boom, another chain shattered, and Sahar was free.
The third door opened onto this eerie, silent lake where Princess Nahid was sleeping. A demon rose out of the water and gave him a challenge. Sing a song so powerful it could make the darkness itself weep. Here's the catch. Arslan wasn't a musician, but he sang the only song he knew that was filled with real emotion, a lullaby his mother used to sing to him. And as he sang, the lake started to tremble, and the demon actually dissolved into tears.
3 princesses free, just 1 to go. The fourth and final door opened into this incredible living forest, where the trees could talk and animals watched his every move. And there, sleeping on a bed of rose petals, was Princess Resham, guarded by this absolutely magnificent dragon. But this dragon wasn't looking for a fight. It was looking for an answer.
And this was it, the final trial, and maybe the most important question of all. The fate of the last princess depended on his answer.
Arslan's answer just seemed to resonate through the whole forest. He said that we aren't nature's masters, we're its guardians, and if we harm nature, we're really just destroying ourselves. And at those words, the forest just came alive with joy, the birds started singing, and the dragon faded away. The final trial was over.
Arslan found himself back in the main hall. He'd passed through all 4 dream doors, he'd overcome every trial. The spell, it was ready to break.
And just think about how he won. It wasn't with brute force, right? He beat darkness with courage. He answered riddles with truth. He moved a demon with love. And he honored nature with respect. His own character was his only weapon.
And in that very moment, as if they were all waking from the same long dream, all 4 princesses opened their eyes. The centuries of sleep were finally over, the palace filled with light, and their faces were just bright with smiles.
The entire kingdom celebrated. The king was ecstatic, and of course, he wanted to give this young traveler anything he wanted. But this part right here, this is where the story reveals its deepest truth.
Swarsalan is offered the entire kingdom, power, riches, you name it, and he turns it all down. He tells the king, "My reward wasn't getting here, it was the journey itself. My reward was proving the truth that was inside my own heart."
And as the princesses heard that, they finally understood everything. It wasn't just his courage that broke the curse. It was his purity. And the story leaves us with this powerful idea. True bravery isn't about what you can get out of it. It's about acting without any desire for a reward. It's a bravery that is completely and totally free from greed. And that's something